Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. It's your boy, Mr. High Fives and Good Vibes, the one and only Stephen J. Martin. And you know what today is? It's another Monday. It's another beginning of the week. And when I tell you, you already know what time it is. It's time for another podcast. It's time for Goddamn It's Monday, episode 9. That is a beautiful number. 9. I've done 9 of these bad boys. It's crazy. I realized that I want to keep hitting y'all with this. Some days gonna be a hit, some days gonna be a miss. But I hope that my followers out there like, share, subscribe. You know, because once I hit 10, I'm spreading out more to more platforms to reach more people. I feel like there's a message to be heard, and I'm gonna make sure that it's heard. You know. Hopefully everybody's been doing good. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. I know that this is a start of another week for everybody. You know, I'm off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so this is my Friday for me. I want to give a shout out to all my followers and fans. I've reached 150 on my Goddamn It's Monday podcast. I appreciate y'all. To my 500 folk who are following me on my Stephen J. Martin 02 account, I appreciate y'all. You know, chime in, follow. If you can't catch up with me now, I'm gonna post this for later so you can catch it on later. You know, just support your boy. I'm gonna be going on other platforms soon. I'm gonna try to get on iHeartRadio, and also I'm gonna try to get on YouTube. You know, I want to expand myself. I'm trying to reach people. You know, if the money flow in, the money flow in. But I'm just trying to reach people. You know, I want to make sure that the human experience is an awesome one, because we all deserve that understanding. You know, we all deserve that walk of life that actually is beneficial for us. You know, and the biggest issue with that is we tend to stop ourselves. But enough about that. Today, I've been making videos and things about minding your business. Today's episode is called Minding Your Business. And I say that with such vigor because we got to understand the root of why minding your business is there. And we got to understand that there's levels to minding your business. Everybody else be like, just stay out of mind. Sometimes as individuals, we see things and we try to recognize them. So the whole thing of today's episode of the podcast is to explain the facets of minding your business and the roots of importance of where the idea comes from. Because a lot of people just be like, well, mind your business, mind your business. That means keep it to yourself. It actually doesn't mean that. A lot of people feel like that mind your business, just keep everything to yourself. No, it's a lot more, I won't say complicated, but it's a lot more steps with just minding your business, because once you understand the whole concept of minding your business and where it roots from, you'll be able to see why humans do what they do, and we do it so repetitively. And we do this a lot. You know, we tend to be in a lot of people's business. We tend to be in a lot of people's feelings and stuff, and it's on a consistent basis. You know, some people are like, well, what if we just universally stop, just start minding our own business? We can't do that because it's in our nature. So we live in a society nowadays where everyone wants to be private. Everybody wants to be to themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. The more private you are, the more people want to pry and see what you're doing. Why is that? Why are people like that? Why are we like that? Why, when Chris Brown has a mansion, we want to see what's inside his house. We want to see what he got going on. We want to see his records and everything. Why are we so curious about that? Why are we so curious about that? You know, it's difficult because we when we see things like that, our first thing to do is we see something when we're not minding our business, is that we judge it. Why Chris Brown gotta have a big house? Why he gotta have this? And the reason why we always are in somebody's business, and the reason why we are in somebody's business is because of discernment. Now, when y'all hear discernment, y'all think y'all immediately go to church. You immediately go spiritual. But discernment is a natural ability to look at things and grasp and comprehend what is not there or what is misunderstood. See, we have this ability to look outside ourselves, you know? And when we look outside ourselves, we start to question everything. And that's other people. Other people are outside of us. They're outside of who we are. And discernment gives us the ability to judge well. Now, the biggest problem with that is we look at somebody's situation, we feel like we have to intervene, and half the time we don't. We have to judge based on the importance of the situation and if it's going to bring any results. You know, like example, we judge a churchgoer who, Monday through Saturday act the fool, but you see him on service every Sunday. It might be a methodology to that. They might sit up there and, you know, pour out all the energy they got and then get refilled by the grace of the Lord on Sunday, you know? Or for somebody who has a child who's a menace, who just acts up no matter what they're doing, at the drop of a dime, you know? And they knocking stuff down at the store, and you're like, oh my God, I need to tell that mother what she need to do with her child. You don't know what's going on with their child. The child may have ADHD. The child may have autism. The child may have something going on that we tend to misunderstood or not get a grasp of because we're quick to judge on it. We're quick to negatively discern or negatively judge based on what we see right then and there. Now, let me say this. Everybody be like, we ain't supposed to judge. The Bible or whatever books don't say that. It says, don't judge unless you want to be judged. That's what it says. If you don't want to be judged and talked about, don't do that to others. But if you can handle it, do it. We as individuals have the ability to judge. Now, the reason why is because we have our own personal experiences. And see, without our ability to judge, we can't. If we're not observing the situation and saying, hey, I may not want to do this like that person does. Because judging comes from observation. Judging comes from discernment. When you are totally discerned and properly discerned about something, you begin to grasp concepts and say, hey, this is what I need to do if it applies to me. Now, our problem is, what applies to me ain't gonna be able to apply to Tom, Dick, and Harry or whoever. You know, what applies to me ain't gonna sit up there and work out for whoever I may discuss that with, you know? Now, we tend to observe and discern the wrong things and not provide the proper solutions for people we ain't getting involved with. You know, sometimes silence is the best answer. Sometimes understanding is the best answer. Sometimes just listening is the best answer. And the issue that as much as we mean well, it don't really mean we mean well. Because sometimes it comes off as selfish. And we tend to, with our own experience, we'll tend to block other resolutions that may be beneficial to those whose business we are involving ourselves with. Now, when it comes to minding your business, and you have to involve yourself, you have to ask a few questions. Question number one: what are my intentions in becoming involved in this situation? What are your intentions in becoming involved in this situation? Are my intentions good? Are my intentions bad? Are my intentions nosy? Am I just collecting information off the rip just to be collecting information off the rip? You have to figure out, what are you trying to gain from the situation? If you're being nosy, just stop. If you're just collecting information, just stop. I mean, to a certain extent, if the information can't be beneficial or helpful to create a solution, just stop. Because I mean, when we was little, in our neighborhood, we knew everybody was in everybody's business, but it was never too far. Everybody in a neighborhood knew who house they can go to. Everybody in the neighborhood knew who house they can't go to. Everyone in the neighborhood knew who was the criminal, who was this, who was that. That level of minding your business is a rare thing, because that interconnects everybody and it creates results for everybody. It creates a safe environment for everybody. Not many kids could actually go outside and say, "Oh, I'm scared." You know why? Because guess what? We got 5-6 neighbors on this side watching. We got 5-6 neighbors on that side watching. And 9 times out of 10, the part of the neighborhood that we was in, you won't see no drug dealing. You might see a couple of fights between kids, but you never seen anything that was controversial, because the neighborhood watched each other. The neighborhood knew each other. I know your kid. I know what your kid capable of. I know what your kid capable of. And some days, as when I was younger, hell, I used to probably get 2 ass whoopings before I even got home to a 3rd ass whooping. And that's when minding your business comes to the standpoint of everybody has something to gain from that situation. Hey, Dion. So people in our neighborhood had solutions and plans for being nosy, for being in your business. And we always came up with these solutions and plans. People knew the extent of everybody involved, People knew the process, and they had gossip, but they kept it to a minimum, because you didn't want infighting with the group of people involved in the discussion. You wanted to mind your business to a certain extent, and what you want to do is be able to catch the ability of individual discernment, meaning that I see this, I'm going to judge this accordingly, and make sure that if I do get involved, I have to make sure that everything or everyone involved can be put in a position to where it benefits me and the person involved. And see, a lot of times the actions that can be made when making decisions or things like that, you have to use your head and your heart, and you have to assess the important values involved in the situation. Now, what I mean by head and heart, you got to use your logic and your emotions. You have to, when you are discerning or trying to be in the person's business, you got to think and you got to think. You got to think like, okay, what processes is this person going through? What processes is this person taking? What moments is this person getting involved in? Then you think in your heart, can this hurt them? Can what I say hurt them? Can what I say be a benefit to them? Can what I say uplift them? Can what I say do anything positive in their life or in that situation? You know, or that particular idea of while I'm being nosy or while I'm being in their business. You know, if I'm in your business, there has to be a reason why. And if it's productive, if I see something that can help you, yes, my intentions become clear then. Hey, I'm in your business because I'm doing this, and this. Okay? Now, if you can accept those terms and you see that it's helpful, that's cool. We move forward. If you feel like, well, you doing too much, you all in my business, you yada whoop. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean-spirited or mean-hearted. I just saw that you were struggling with something. I gave you an idea. I saw that you was going through this situation. I gave you some platforms to stand on. It's up to you if you want to take them or not. Question number 2. Can my involvement or input have any effect on the outcome of the situation? Let me say that again. Can my involvement or input have any effect on the outcome of the situation? Can what you say help or hinder someone's situation? Seriously. Can your input or involvement in somebody's business help or hinder the situation? So that's all it's going to do. If you're being nosy, it's going to hinder the situation. You know why? Because guess what? You ain't offering no advice. Now, maybe your input may hinder the situation. You may be giving the wrong advice, or you may be giving advice based on what you would do. Sometimes as individuals, we have to broaden our minds to more possibilities that aren't contingent on us, on the person inside, on the original person, on me. I can't sit up there and tell you how to live your life if my way of living is different from yours. Our biggest problem today is we are the generation of people that sit back and observe before intervening. We have to jump in right now. Boom. If somebody, you know, I'm going to use a couple of dark examples. I don't want to say dark, but real examples. Somebody comes out game. Oh, well, were they sick like that? Were they born like that? They need help. They need Jesus. They need to go to church and get sanctified, purified, Or somebody goes to jail. Why are they in jail? What they do to get to jail? Oh, I blame the parents. We are so quick to jump in, so quick to pass judgment. We are quick with it when it comes to judgment. And that's when our discernment becomes sour. It becomes bad because we get so deep with intervening with people that we block ourselves from everybody, because if we tell somebody our information or what we're going through, we become afraid to say, hey, I don't want to tell you that info because you might go tell Tom, Dick, and Harry. Or if we get into an argument, yeah, that's why you did that. I told you that piece of information for a reason. And now, because of we having a situation that doesn't even call for you to bring that up, now you bring that up to knock me down a couple of pegs. You know what I'm saying? So, there's nothing wrong with understanding and checking in on folks. There's nothing wrong with gathering information. But it's how you gather the information. It's how you talk to your friends, how you talk to your family, and how you talk to those involved, you know. Because we gonna all be in each other's business at one time. We are. Somebody gonna post something on Facebook and we gonna be like, well, ooh, yeah. It goes a little while from now. And with all that going on, we have to be able to align ourselves properly. And what I mean by properly, we have to align ourselves as humanly as possible to understand our creative and destructive nature of discernment and minding our business. Because some people can come into your life and say something important that it'll ring true to your spirit. You be like, okay, now that is something I need. Some people gonna go talk to somebody else and be like, ooh, child, blah, blah, blah. And knowing how the telephone game is with adults nowadays, the information is gonna come back to you, and it's gonna be all wrong. All wrong. You might have said, I'm a day late, $1 short on the bills, and it comes back to you a couple weeks later. Oh man, we took a collection for you. They said your light bill was too high and they about to cut your lights off. Wait, no. I ain't say all that. Again, we have to understand minding your business comes from a place of discernment. I'm going to keep saying that. And we have to be able to observe and judge the situation. Because that's what minding your business is. Observing the situation and judging whether or not it needs your input. That's all it is. And we have to make sure we think, again, with our head and our heart. You know, we have to think with logic and we have to think with emotions. We have to think about the rational and we have to think about the irrational. Because on both ends, human beings are both rational and irrational creatures. And so what happens now is, once you get the information you want, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? You know, if you sit up there and you get involved with somebody or get in somebody's business, and if it doesn't involve a logical or an emotional aspect or even both, you might need to back away. If you can't supply an answer from a mental standpoint, or at least be there for that person on that emotional standpoint, you need to back away. Because it does nothing to you. It does nothing for them either. You know, you have to look in the mirror and realize, okay, I can help somebody. I can get involved. But sometimes someone's life ain't made for me to save. You know? Sometimes someone's life ain't made for me to save. I can't come in and change your life if you don't want it to be changed. Some people are fine with it yet. Some people are okay with the mess they're in. You know, and I might see it as a mess. But I can't sit up there and just keep being in their business and say, hey, you need to do it. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do that. Being like that tires you out. Being like that takes you to places and things of sort of that energy that you don't even have for the time being. You know? It really wraps in and around itself that, oh, I can do this for this person. I just got to make sure that I'm there for that person all the time. Or I just got to make sure that they don't slip up or whatever. I got to make sure when you get to that point and that person doesn't want or need your help, you're being over accountable for no reason. You're being extra accountable for no reason. You're putting that energy and accountability for no reason. Like, seriously. I shit you not. When you sit up there, ain't no feeling worse than the feeling of you involving yourself in somebody's life and they not even taking in what you giving them. They not even trying to process or understand what you're doing for them. Or half the time they ignore it and be like, stay out my business. I got it. And you constantly see them fail, but again, sometimes someone's life ain't made for you to save. Okay. Part 3, question number 3. What do I personally have to lose or gain from getting involved in this situation? What do I personally have to lose or gain from getting involved in this situation? Do you know why the extent of mind your business is the way it is? Because of time. When people say mind your business, they're saying don't involve your time with me unless it's beneficial. Don't involve your time with me unless you are willing to work with me. Don't add time to yourself for the sake of me if you know damn well you can't do nothing about what I got going on. That's what minding your business really breaks down to. Like I said, discernment, knowing when to judge and how to judge, and stepping up to judge a situation to see if you need to be involved, and then seeing if you have the time involved for the person you're trying to get involved with or in. And that's where the nosy people come in. That's where the bad functions of minding your business or folks getting involved come up in. Because folk have the time to know what you're doing, but they don't have time to help you with what you're doing. They want to know all that's going on, but they don't want to offer the time and solutions. They'll spend that 2 or 3 minutes to find out that you smoke weed and you have a weed addiction. But they don't want to sit up there and find out what caused the addiction. What traumas in your life you got going on? Well, what in the world has made you upset? What in the world has bothered you to the point of your feelings getting hurt? You know what I'm saying? What has pushed you to the point to where you feel like if you ain't got time for me to help me, stay out my business? Like, prime example, single mom with kids. They say, me and my kids, me and my kids. Don't say nothing about my kid, yada yada yada. But yet, you in it by yourself, and the energy you putting in is weighing your ass down. It really is. And then you sit up there saying, well, I wish I had time to do this. I wish I had time to do that. And then the folk who come involved, they take their little 2-3 minutes and be like, well, how little Ray doing? He talked to his daddy. They are wasting their time because they're not offering anything beneficial to those involved in the situation or those who are involved in the business at hand that they're trying to get into. You know, the follow-up behind that is, can you dedicate yourself to someone's business as if it were your own? If you know that this girl or woman or man or child or whatever is going through the rigors, can you dedicate yourself to them? Can you dedicate yourself to their exact problem? If not, shut up, move on. If so, use the sermon properly and make sure you're able to guide them to the answers that will help them. Not you, but them. You know? In most cases, we cannot dedicate ourselves to someone and their problems as if they were our own. Because guess what? We have our own problems. We have our own situations. We have our own difficulties and misconceptions about ourselves. Because every day we're growing. Every day we're changing. And along with them changes and growth, there's new problems. New shit to deal with. New people to tend to test our nerve. New people to push us to a new breaking point in our life. New life situations. Moving into a house. Get in the car. Have another kid. You know. Those situations tend to take our time for us. And we really don't have time to invest into other people like that. We don't have time to invest ourselves into understanding why is this person doing this and why is this person doing that. Now, albeit our own human curiosity makes us want to be that way. Our own human discernment is like, ooh, I see that situation. That situation is like an easy situation. Oh, that situation looks like for a call for me. I'm gonna come in and say something. Half the time you ain't gotta say nothing. Sometimes you just gotta leave people be. Sometimes you just gotta use that spirit of discernment and say, dude, that person look like they have problems of their own. And by me going over there to say these are the solution to your problems may not be the best time to do it. Maybe if it's another time for me to say something, I'll wait for that time to come. Boom. Now, your level of discernment will dictate how deep you can be involved or be involved at all. How deep you look at somebody and how long you observe somebody, that value in itself is a strong value. Because like I said, in most cases we can't involve ourselves to the point to where their problem is our problem. And that's in relationships too. But it can be a limit. It can be a barrier. It can be a ceiling to how far we can involve ourselves. And sometimes, some people are so toxic and so miserable, you don't need to be involved in them at all. Because sometimes they attach themselves to you and mess up your discernment. You know, sometimes they disorient your discernment. So now you can't really judge a situation and look at a situation and become better from the situation, because guess what? You don't fit with their idea of trying to solve the problem or trying to make the situation better for them. All right? When you understand the values in someone's business and the values in the discernment process, you got to weigh the options and decide what is most important to the individual. When we in someone's business, we don't never see what's important to the individual, because we just see what's going on in front of the individual. We tend to say, hey, I see you got this going on, and that's it. But we don't see, why is your kid acting like that? I don't know why my kid acting like that. Oh, your husband cheated on you. Okay, I know that. Why did he cheat on me? The most important thing about it is what is going on. Why is it going on? What has happened? You know, that part is important, but the other most important part is where does it hold value to the individual? You know, is it an emotional state? Yes. How we work on those emotions. This is how we do it. Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. This is how we work with one another. Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. And where we fall short on that is the fact that we look at something and we judge it with negative energy real quick. Oh, your husband left because you ain't doing your wifey duties. Well, maybe not. Maybe her husband is a whole hoe. Maybe her husband don't know commitment. Maybe her husband needs therapy to understand what commitment is. Those are the key important issues with the individual sometimes. Sometimes it's the individual who wants to be closer to their family. And when they finally realize how close they want to be to their family, they start setting things up, going to therapy, doing whatever they need to do, you know? And some people sit up there and hear on the pipeline, oh, you know, blah, 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 going to therapy. Oh, well, he must have went crazy. No, he going to therapy to help himself and help his family, you know? It's imperative to use good judgment and consider the needs and feelings of others before you take action and before you seek what this business is they have. Or when you want to sit up there and look at somebody's situation and observe and say something, observe and judge, you have to be considerate of that. You have to be considerate to see if what you're saying and what you're doing is beneficial to everyone involved. Whew. I like this conversation. It's making me lower myself. Comfortable. So that's question number 3. What do I personally have to lose or gain from getting involved? You know, you have to make sure that when stepping into the ring with other people, you have to make sure you identify what can be gained and what can be lost. And most of the time, that's time. Now, y'all know my construct when I do my podcast: persons, places, things. We just got through with the personal experience about minding your business. Now, let's see where minding your business can take you. Where is your place at with minding your business? You know, where's your fine line with minding your business? You know what I'm saying? Where's your fine print of minding your business? When minding your business and using the correct judgment, it'll take you to two places: the place of trust and the place of understanding. If you mind your business accordingly, the information that needs to come to you will come to you, because folk trust you. If you are minding your business and you carry yourself accordingly and you carry yourself the right way, you'll gain an understanding to some people who give their information to you willingly. You know? In order to keep and maintain healthy relationships with people, you must develop a keen sense of discernment and recognize the importance of your involvement with the person. That starts with them trusting you. Them trusting you with their business. Because there are plenty of chat circles and chat friends and all the other stuff where they'll share their most vulnerable sides of themselves to you. You know, they'll share their most intricate ideals and feelings with you. Now, that does not mean go tell other people in the group, or when somebody asks, you be like, ooh, child, oh man. No, these folk have told you something. These folk have told you their business because they figure that you would trust. They trust you, and they think you get an understanding of where they're coming from. Now, a lot of the times with the place of trust and understanding, a lot of people are too trusting. A lot of people are too. A lot of people are too open. And when you are that open, sometimes being open causes more issues for you than just backing away. A lot of people who talk to a lot of open people are gossiping. You know, sometimes a person can take 5 or 6, 7 drinks and they tell all their business, and then they see you next time around while they sober, and you say, "Man, did you really do all that stuff?" And they be like, "Well, what are you talking about?" Well, when you got drunk, you told us this, this, and this, and this. You trusted us enough to tell us all that information, and then that person gets upset and bothered, like, "Oh no, I wasn't trying to tell y'all that I was drunk." Yada yada yada, whoop de whoop. And then somebody from that group then told somebody else in a whole different group, "Man, did you know blah blah blah? Yeah, yes, yakety schmackety." No, I did not. Well, he got drunk and told it all, girl, or she got drunk and told it all, girl. You know. A keen sense of trust comes from a level of vulnerability. Okay? When folk are in your business, they want you to be vulnerable. Vulnerable ain't bad, but it ain't good either. Because folk take advantage of vulnerable people. And what we don't want is to do that. We don't need to be doing that. Don't do that. That's not cool. You know? We want to make sure that when people are in your business and you're vulnerable, you have to be able to understand that people cannot be vulnerable with someone who wants to shake every detail out of it. You can't be vulnerable with somebody that has to know what's going on with you. And I mean that, I don't mean like in a strong friendship way. I mean, they asking, 25, 30 questions and not offering at least 15 solutions to the questions they ask you. Where you at? Who you doing? Where you from? If you're not able to do any of that, if you're not able to do any of that without thinking that you're going to tell somebody else about it, then you got to make sure that you can create a space where they can be vulnerable and they can trust you. And within that realm of trust and realm of discernment, you'll be able to gather the information needed and be able to come up with the results together. So it becomes y'all's business for the time being. That moment of vulnerability with somebody is not our business. It's not really like I wanted to sit up there and be open or be vulnerable just for the sake of it. I'm looking for a solution. I'm looking for an ideal to where to go with my vulnerability. I'm weak in this area and I'm sharing this information with whoever. And I hope that within retrospect, they don't share this information with anybody else, but they give me the results I need. They give me the ideas that I need to help me. Sometimes the best place to be when things arise is just being there. Sometimes just being there, can bring forth great fruit, and you realize as the individual that minding your business does not mean you shouldn't offer love or support nobody. There should always be a position of love and patience and understanding and caring about who or what is involved in their situation. We can come in and simply just care, but we also have to realize that we can't just come in and assume the role of the fixer of the problems. We can't assume that at all. We can't sit up there and be like, well, I know all the answers to your situation. No, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work at all. And we have to make sure that when we are meddling in other people's business, you got to make sure that the outcome doesn't fall on you, because this is going to look kind of sucky that you give this advice and it makes you look bad. It makes you look terrible. It puts you in a position to where, again, all trust and understanding fall to the wayside. And you have to be open and realize that there's nothing wrong with how you mind your business and who you mind your business from. But there's also some benefits to minding your business, because again, like I told you earlier, two places you go to when you mind your business is trust and understanding. Once you gain those two, you develop an expertise in things that matter to you. Guess what? You understand certain situations, and folk put certain trust in you. And so now you step up and you take a role that makes it beneficial for you to be on your best and awesome behavior, or your best and awesome version of yourself. And so ultimately you have to finagle and figure out where's your position when you're minding your business. And you will want to go to a position of accomplishment instead of assumptions. Let me say that again. If you're minding your business, you want to make sure that you go to a place of accomplishments and not assumptions. Because where we mess up at with not minding our business, we assume shit. You know, instead out there doing great things and giving people ideas, we are quick to assume and make the worst of stuff, you know. Well, this happened because that happened, and yada yada yada, and this happened because that happened, and so forth. And I would want to come from a place of accomplishment, because guess what? If what I'm doing when I'm minding my business is what I'm doing, or minding my business is inspiring others to do something great with themselves, then yes, that goes back into trust and understanding. I've accomplished something. Now these people see me, they trust me, they understand where I'm coming from, and now they can be vulnerable with me. Now they share that vulnerable with me, I'm able to pass even more information on to them and network and create something and build something from there, you know? When you mind your own business and you use discernment correctly, when you mind your business and you judge properly, see, because I don't believe there's a right and wrong, because everybody's experience is different. But I do believe there's a proper way to do things and an improper way to do things. So when you have proper discernment, you're going to be able to judge the situation and be able to look at the situation and say, hey, this is where I need to go, this is what I need to do. And when you mind your business, it's like, okay, within this discernment, within this ability to judge the situation, I know when I need to step back or when I need to step forward, you know? And you have to make sure that when you do mind your business, you have to make sure that you land in positions that will benefit you and may be able to help others. Right? So we are at the final phase of this all. And these are the things. The things part. I told you I do 3 parts of my podcast. Persons, places, things. These are things that can help you, or things related to the topic at hand. And guess what? They related to minding your business. So, I found a list of things that can help you maximize minding your business. You know? Number 1, your thoughts and your actions are just your business. Unless you let somebody in, your thoughts and your actions only belong to you. If you think a certain way and you act a certain way, that's all on you. Again, other people's thoughts and other people's actions is their business. It is not your business to come in and do something about it unless they invite you in. You ain't got to steamroll your way in. You ain't got to sit up there and finagle around. If they want you in their business, they'll let you in their business. But as of right now, your business goes to your thoughts and your actions, and the other people's business goes to their thoughts and actions. So learn how to divide the two. Now, anything outside of you that's not related to your benefit, external circumstances, like how the weather works, how somebody's car messing up, who's dating who, if it's outside of your extent, again, not your business. Again, not your business. One more time on the road. Not your business. Anything outside of yourself is not your business. Unless you get invited into it. Number 2, exercise good discernment. 1 part of that, recognize when you need to be involved. Sometimes in life, we have to step up for our friends and family. We see somebody suffering and they need help. We have to discern and know when to step in. We can't step in too early. We can't step in too late. We can't step in saying any given thing. We got to step in correctly. You know? Judge only when the situation needs a result that is beneficial to you and those whose business you are in. I can't sit up there and say, ooh, that's terrible. No, it's terrible because of this, this, and this. But we can make it better if we do this, this, and this. Let me say that again. Don't judge the situation if it brings no benefit to y'all, to you people involved. If I'm in your business and I'm sitting up there talking about your business, if I'm not offering solutions to make your situation better, I need to shut the hell up. If I'm just using your business as the headline of my day, I need to shut the hell up. If I'm using your business as a means to get what I want out of you, I need to shut the hell up and mind my own. Number 3, knowing when to step back. God damn. A lot of times, some people need to understand when to step back. That's where discernment comes in. Oh, no, this ain't my spot to say anything. Oh, no, this ain't my time to say anything. Oh, now is my time to say something that can benefit them and me at the same time. Because when we involve with each other, it's a give and take from both sides. I'm gonna give you something, I'm gonna take something. And then on the other end, I'm gonna give you something, I'm gonna take something. You have to recognize if an issue directly concerns you or not. That's a big boo-boo. That's a big no-no. A lot of people hop into folks' mess or business that don't even directly concern them. You know, it doesn't directly affect them. So you jump in, you say this, and then you wonder why this stuff ain't working because you ain't never been in their shoes before. You never just been, you never just walked a mile of who they are. You never just seen their life from their eyes. You know what I'm saying? You have to respect boundaries. If this person says, I don't want to talk about it, I want to leave it alone, step the hell back and let them breathe. Seriously, step back and let them breathe. Because the only way a person would develop a trust and understanding for you is if you recognize their boundaries. If it's a particular subject they feel sore about, don't sit there and bring it up and then talk to it about your friends. Understand that, hey, I got you. You don't like Coca-Cola for this particular reason. Oh, hey, I got you. I don't want you to do this and yada, yada, yada. Okay, I respect those boundaries. I don't want you to cuss around me and my kids. I'm going to respect those boundaries. You know? And then also pay attention to social cues. If you're talking to somebody and they've already cut you off, and you still trying to dig and dig and dig, and they've already given you a signal to cut you off, don't get mad when they cut you out. A lot of times people get social cues to just back up, leave me alone, let me be. And we ignore it and be like, well, you going to hear me out today. You going to hear what I have to say. Yada, 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 whoop, whoop. And then when they bark and they snap, like, oh my God, why did you do all that? That is not necessary. That is not fair. Well, I told you what the situation was. And I told you how it was going to play out, right? So we don't need to sit up there and have this full-blown conversation if you're paying attention to my cues. I don't want to talk. You shouldn't want to listen. So go about your business. Part 4, watching your behaviors to avoid interfering. Half the time people talk about their business, they want to keep it that way, and it's vent. A lot of times, men, and I say men, will interfere with a woman's situation. Sometimes women will interfere with a man's situation. Sometimes they both interfere with somebody else's situation. And some people can be talking and it can be all nice and juicy, and it can be psychological for this person. Rule number 1, don't butt in. If you see that this person is getting the energy and help that they need, Don't sit up there and add any more fuel to an unnecessary fire that went down. Don't go over there and say, but Jason hurt you. Yeah, I'm over to break up. But you don't understand. Jason hurt you. He really hurt you. No, I'm fine. Or, from a guy's standpoint, man, Sharika cheated on you. Okay. Man, you ain't gonna get her back. No. Oh man, you weak. Yada 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 yada. I'm not weak. I just don't want to butt into a situation. I don't want to butt in at all. I don't feel like I have nothing to gain by butting in. Number 2, don't offer unsolicited advice. Meaning, if they didn't ask for it, don't give it to them. But there's extenuating circumstances for that. Sometimes people are afraid to speak about what's going on in their life, and you have to pull it out of them. But make sure when you do pull it out of them, that it's in a beneficial place. Make sure when you pull it out of them that y'all both have something to gain. Make sure when you pull it out of them, or give them that advice, that is uplifting and it does something beautiful. And the last one, avoid judging others. Everybody is different. God damn, everybody's different. Even your kids grow up different. They're all cute and, oh, daddy loves you. And they become teenagers and you want to slap taste out their mouth. We have to avoid judging everybody. And what I mean by judging, I mean judging and not offering solutions. Judging and not being able to help. Judging and watching somebody go to jail. Judging and not uplifting somebody in the time of need, We have to understand that judgment and discernment go hand in hand. Only thing about discernment is it going to stick with you or sit with you? Because sometimes it'll stick, and sometimes it'll stay back and sit like, nah, we good. So you have to make sure you practice that spirit of discernment. You have to make sure you do that. All right? Really, Travis, good morning to you, sir. I said 10 o'clock. It's 11:21. I started 30 minutes late for y'all folk. But it's fine. What we do as individuals is important. What we do as individuals is important. Minding our business is just as important. Having a spirit of discernment is just as important. We can't sit up there and finish what we wanted to do because y'all up in somebody else's business. We can't sit up there and accomplish what we want to accomplish because we are in somebody else's feelings. And you have to understand that at the end of the day, we are going to do great things. So, I really enjoyed talking to y'all today. And I hope to see y'all again next week.